All right. We're ready to start? All right. Good morning, Kenyans. Welcome to the Taco Live Show Diaspora Edition. This is your host for today. A privilege to host this show for today on behalf of Gerald and our Diaspora team. Karibuni sana. Naona mwenzangu hapa Bwana ALFRED is joining us. He's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with the show, wacha tuanze na maombi tuende mbele ya Mungu alafu tuendelee na show. Okay, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful and beautiful morning that we are joining together as Kenyans to discuss matters that pertains to our country and to discuss issues and educate one another in any way that we can. Help us as we guide this discussion, matters affecting diaspora people and as well as our beloved country and Kenyans in general. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank you. Amen. All right. Hey, Bwana ALFRED, karibu sana to the show. Let's start with sijui tuanze na salamu ya wananchi wenye wamejoin kwa show Facebook. Yep, I see Bwana Isaac Ogega from Kisii Town tuned in. Biore mwana minto. Pardon me guys, lazima niweke ya lugha ya nyumbani kidogo hapo. Davinson Wambogo, South Sea, Nairobi. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'm on Biwot from Eldoret. Good morning, Tetaco people. Tunawasalimia, asanteni sana, karibuni sana to the show. Bwana ALFRED.
Yes.
This is Diaspora Edition. Inaonekana leo sisi ndio tunajiendeleza peke yetu. I think it's about time.
It is about time, yeah.
Yes, so welcome so much. Karibu sana. So first of all, let me just give you a moment to salimia wananchi alafu tutaanza mjadala while waiting for other diaspora people to join.
Asante sana Bwana ARAMA. Mimi naitwa ALFRED Koech. Ama watu wengi sana wananijua kwa jina langu la utani kama SERGENT. Nyumbani ni kule Mosoriot, Nandi County. Mimi niko Perth, Australia, na we are happy to be here today to tackle this issue on diaspora and other things that we will be discussing today, and also privileged to have been given this opportunity. Naona Gerald ni kama anatu test kuona kama vijana wametosha kazi.
Yeah.
I'm actually at work, but I thought I should just stop by to give my contribution. And of course, it's an evolving world. ARAMA, we can't say we need to be sitting anywhere in an office. We can be anywhere, but still give our views, still engage, and still reach our people. So I'm privileged to be here today and looking forward for a great discussion.
Thank you so much, Bwana ALFRED. Karibu sana. Sometimes watu wanafikiri hii kazi unajua inafanywa from anywhere. On the road, kwa desk, from the phone, you can work from where. That's the advantage of technology anyway. So, first of all, wacha tuanze na wananchi wa diaspora while we are waiting for our fellow team members to join in. Bwana Kip amesema atatu join in a few minutes. We are looking forward for him to join the show. First of all, let's start with the diaspora. One of the things that I would like us to talk about today is how can I put this? As a Kenyan going to a foreign country, what are the challenges? What are the things that you can tell people that, or tell yourself, the now self, when you are going to Australia, what will you do different that you did when you started? Or is there something that you are aware of that most people fall into a trap when they go to a different country?
Would you mind rephrasing the question again?
Okay, so my thought process is most of the people when they go to most of the Kenyan when they go to foreign countries to a different country, there are some things either they get stuck or they face a lot of challenges. Sometimes they don't get somebody to help them, or other people just watch you, they want you to fail, and then they're like, just as certain like anybody else. But what are some of the things you can tell people and say, for example, hey, you're coming to Australia. Here are here are the do's and the don'ts that you need to consider when you're coming here.
Yeah, that's a good, valid question, Bwana ARAMA. I would actually want to emphasize as well that coming to Australia is quite a tedious process currently, given the fact that we have COVID. So we would also mention that towards the end of the show on what are the changes that have happened. But on a normal basis, coming to Australia, Australia got agents back in Kenya that you can use, and they will be able to guide you step by step. You also have to identify a school that you of your choice here to come and study or further your studies, or actually come and do a 1 year course or just a refresher course. But as you said, a lot of people would need that support to know who are these agents, who are these people I need to talk to, and of what are the channels of reach. ARAMA, I would pop in something I did mention a few weeks ago, or no, a month actually or so. I said, look, Alfred is happy to give you information, but I was charging 5K. I was bashed like nothing.
Wakenya tunapenda vitu za bure bwana.
But in that essence, I wanted to give people, I'm spending my time, I'm giving you most of the schools, I'm giving you most of the information about schools here, but I would not guide you as an agent on what you need to do.
Yes.
So I did mention that if you want to come to Australia, these are 1, 2, 3, but of course, you would not want to spend time always talking about this. And it's, unajua hapa sahi tukicheza hapa ninatumia airtime. Tukicheza hapa, I'm having an hour or so that I'm using. But
yes,
over and again, I've been using my platforms to tell people on how they can come to Australia and for free. So I would say that this is a chance for them to use and maximize my reach today to them. Australia, you need an agent. In Eldoret, we have a few agents that can be able to guide you through to come to Australia. We have in Nairobi. Australia you don't have to go to the embassy for you to come to Australia. Once you've identified a school here in Australia, you talk to the agents. If you don't know who are these agents, talk to a friend who is in Australia. Talk to a friend who have tried the process before.
Mm-hmm. Inaonekana Alfred amekwama kidogo. He's driving through the mountains maybe. I see a new gentleman who has joined us, Bwana Albert Mohatia. Did I say your name right? Bwana Albert? Bwana Albert, if you can unmute yourself and say something to us, just salimia wananchi and join the discussion, if you are able. All right. While we're waiting for Alfred to rejoin back, get his connection back, let me give my own personal experience also coming to the US for the first time. A few of the things that I've learned is one, okay. Sawa, Albert anasema it's noise where he is, so he can't really speak. So thank you, Albert, and thank you for joining us. But we'll continue the discussion. If you want to post your comments, then I can read it out to the people. Then we can continue the discussion. So one of the things that for me I've learned being in the US is respecting and obeying the laws is a very important thing. It gets you out of a lot of trouble. So instead of you facing challenges, trying to make shortcuts, you are by nature where we come from, people like taking the easy road. But this is a country that respects the rule of law, and you can't get very far if you don't follow the law. You get in trouble very quickly. And once you get in trouble, then you are marked for life. You really can't move anywhere. I've had examples, for example, some people who have had issues, even getting a job once you have a record. There are some jobs you cannot get. It limits you on the places you can go as far as working, high-end paying jobs, because they do a thorough background check. So, and depending on the offense that you have made, driving record, speeding, those are minor things. You can still get a decent job. But also some companies really look at your driving record and see whether you are somebody who is reliable for you to join the company. When you start upgrading to other serious offenses, For example, if you're driving and you are drunk, excuse me, and you get in an accident or you cause an accident, people are injured, then you get what we call a DUI record, and some of them are upgraded to a felony. Once you have a felony, you cannot get any government job. Once you're a felon, you cannot get a government job because you fail a background check, period. And most of the with great benefits here are government jobs. You get good retirement benefits, you get great insurance coverage, holiday pay, vacation time, all those things are come with the job. So those are things that really prevent you. But one of the things that I know for sure that makes, I would say, for the US to be a great place to be is literally the field is open for you to be whatever you want. As long as you work hard, you can change. I have people who have changed from being a professor to a plumber. And people, when people hear that, they scratch their head and say, hey, unawacha kuwa professor unaenda kufanya kazi ya kufunga pipes. But those are well-paying jobs. A plumber, for example, if I call a plumber to my house, welcome back, Brother ALFRED.
Sorry, maneno ya technology one.
Yeah, I understand. You're on the road. I really understand. So let me get back to you. I was trying to fill up the time and yes, talking about my experience, but let me get back to you so that you can share with your experience and what you're talking about.
So, I would quickly go straight on how me personally I came into. So I identified a school here, a college that was for a start. Once I've identified the school, that was courtesy of some friends who were here. I went to see an agent. The agent gave me the guidelines on how to, what they were needing me to give them before we start the process. So, of course, Australia needs a bank statement. You need to have your first fees paid up for prior to you joining the university. And then once you've paid your fees, then they start the process of the visa process. And, of course, you need to do an English test, which is an IELTS or one called PTE. So once you've done all those, then the process starts. But I want to still categorically remind people that you pay your first school fees first. Quite a number of parents are a bit skeptical on this, and they think that their kids or their loved ones are being sketchy on this, but you have to pay your first school fees. Unfortunately, though, currently the borders are closed. Most people are still processing the visas, but people are staying home. So on that regard, you can still process, but at some point in time, you will have to study when you are in Kenya before before the border starts. And of course, you have to pay nearly the same amount of money that someone in Australia is paying while you are still in Kenya. But the catch about that is, once you finish your studies in Australia, then you get a 2-year visa. That is a working visa. So even if you're studying in Kenya, you still get that, you're still guaranteed to get that 2 years visa once you finish your studies to come and work here. But wacha nisema hii kwa Kiswahili. Najua watu wengi wako hapa wanasikiza na huwezi jua, unajua saa zingine miti zinasikia maneno. So watu wengi wanakujanga huku, mtu atakuuliza, Alfred, sasa mimi nikisomea nyumbani, alafu nikifika kugraduate, nikuja ni graduate huko, ama hii miaka 2 ikiisha ama miaka 3 yenye ningekuwa nasoma ikiisha, nikikuwa bado nyumbani, nini kitafanyika? Ni expensive kweli, kwa sababu unalipa semester moja 1,700 ama 1,000,000 na bado uko nyumbani. Watu wengi wanakujanga huku wanazitafuta hizo hela halafu wanalipa. So ukikuwa nyumbani inakuwa vigumu sana kupata hayo hela. So ukishapata visa, unajaribu kucheza hiyo semester moja, unaambiana kuna bado maneno 2 3, of which ni ukweli. Kama bado hawajafungua, then unaweza jaribu kucheza na maybe 2 units ama vitu kama hizo, ukijaribu kusukuma muda. Ndio ule muda mwingi ukifika hapa uweze kukuja sasa kuendelea na masomo yako kama umefika hapa. Sababu watu wengi sana wanakujanga huku. ARAMA wengi walikuja huku sababu walikuja kusoma na pia kutafuta hela. Sasa ukikuwa nyumbani na unaambiwa kila 6 months lazima ulipe 1,000,000 bwana, na unaona nyumbani watu wanalia. Sasa hii tuko WhatsApp karibu 1000, hata sijui nimelipa gani bado. So so ni vigumu sana, lakini tuendelee kushika imani, na mimi nazidi kuwaeleza wale ndugu zetu ambao wako huku ama wako kule Marekani, wazidi pia kuambia wenzetu namna ya kufika pale watu waliko. Tuliona na tutamalizia hiyo maneno ya Middle East, pia kuna watu wanaweza enda kufanya kazi na vitu kama hiyo. Kama kuna kitu genuine, kitu mzuri, tujaribu kueleza na ndugu zetu na dada zetu ili waweze kupata nafasi. Kuna muimbaji mwingine kule nyumbani kwetu, Bwana ARAMA, anasema wewe ukikuwa mahali ulipo, wewe ukuwe ile inaitwa bridge, kuwa kifuko kwa kila mmoja pia aweze kupata nafasi, ajue ni nini kinaendelea kule, na kama kuna kizuri basi pitisha mkono wako ili aweze kufika.
Oh, thank you so much. Wacha nichangie pia hapo kidogo. Kuna like in the US saizi kuna program, najua a gentleman anaanzisha program like the airlift yenye ilifanyika in the 70s, in the 80s. I think it's the 70s, the airlift. Yeah. So this guy is doing a very nice program, but is only geared to master's program students only.
Yeah.
So, and you must have done very well, and especially in the IT field. You must have done very well in school, you know, above a B in math and all the other classes for IT. So wanakupatia linkage, you can come here, they take you through the process. They get you funding. For example, wanakutafutia njia unaweza pata loans ya kukuja shule. Sometimes ukibahatika utapata some scholarships, and most of the schools give you scholarships, especially for master's program. They give you some kind of scholarships. Now, when you come here, one of the things that I tell people, especially people who come to school, if you come and you work hard, you do great, the doors will be open for you drastically that you cannot believe. I can give you an example. I know of a young man who came here he's actually from Tanzania. He came here, he went to a community college. But because he was so hardworking, when he came, by the second semester, alikuwa amekuwa tutor wa kufunza other students math. Akawafunza, he was doing so great. The professors in that school, community college, wakamwambia, hey, they send word. Unajua, people don't realize how much power and influence the professors have in a school.
Yeah.
This young man got 2 scholarships to 2 different schools in 2 different states. Fully paid for. He had to decide. Yani alikuwa anakuja ananiambia, anatuliza niende wapi. So we had to tell him, what does this program offer you? What are the advantages? And the other one, what do you want to do? And then at the end of the day, you narrow down and you tell him, hey, this is what you can, I think this will work out best for you. So, and then once you get into that program, you work hard, you're doing great in school, you get involved, you work with your professors. At the end of the day, these people will sponsor you. They will get you funding to do your master's. They will get you funding to do your PhD if you want to continue. And most of the time, because of their research they are doing, because they get grant money for research, and sio pesa kidogo, these people get in millions for grant money for research. And money comes from different companies, different organizations. At the end of the day, you get to join in that research program, and you stay here longer. And most of the time, based on how much you put in, you become an expert. You automatically get more a way to get official, legal status to be in the country permanently.
Yeah.
So that way, and these are the way that people need to understand that you get to join in that research program. And unaweza mute kidogo based on how karibu sana, lakini there is a feedback coming from your you automatically get more a way to get official, legal status to be in the country permanently.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you. All right. So, and that's one thing I know for us Kenyans, and for, let me say, for people Africa in general, you know that you come from an area that you struggle. So when you get in, you don't have a choice but to work hard. One, you have people depending on you back home that they need your support, friends, family, name it. it's amazing how many messages I get, how many emails, phone calls, text messages, kila kitu, saidia. And most of the time you can help where you can. But for me is the opportunities are there. Like you had said before, you offer to give people information, but you are charging a fee. Yes, I understand some people 5,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when you have an end goal, aim to get somewhere. It's not a lot of money. To me, I can tell you personally, even when I was in Kenya, when I started, one of the places that I wanted to go for school was Australia. I'd even started doing my applications. I'd applied to a couple of schools. I was trying everything. I even had an opportunity for a teaching position in Madagascar to teach electronics. And I was like, Kiumana, I'll go there. At the same time, Rwanda was opening up for people to go teach in Rwanda. So those are opportunities. Opportunities are there, but you just have to apply yourself. And sometimes you have to sacrifice something to get something. People putting in their time to get this information together, it's not for free. Yes, there is a place somebody can give you some free information, but at some point, you need to put something to show that you are serious with this process. Otherwise, utaenda ufike mahali mtu anza kuambia si unilipia hiyo kidogo sasa si unitafutie school fees nilipia hapo kidogo nitakurudishia. Before you know it, you are paying for somebody's school fees na akikuja anakuambia boss, shauri yako. So, but opportunities are there. I think I saw one of my friends posted in one of our groups akaambia Wakenya akasema, if you are young, get out. Go out there, make your money, do something out there. The country is becoming too risky for young people. Every day you see people dying and all that. But unajua, I can talk too much. Sometimes I talk too much bila kuweka pause. So Bwana Biwott Benson, karibu sana to the show. Let me just give you a moment to introduce yourself and say a few words to the Kenyans.
Thank you. Asante Bwana Joel. My name's Benson Biwott. Tuko na ALFRED hapa Australia, so I think amewakilisha, present whatever I had to say. So hapa ni hustle tu, kufanya kazi, kuweka bidii, na hivyo ndio tuko. So kujaribu tu kusukuma maisha. But compared to back home, yeah, so it's a bit of imetufungua akili kidogo. So I'm sure hata nikirudi nyumbani saa hizi, I'll be a different person than I would have been if I had not come abroad. So it has really given me a different view of what hard work is, what determination is, and what achievement is as well. So otherwise, mimi sina maneno, tuko Western Australia, niko na ALFRED. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Naona watu wana join wengi hapa bwana. Hey, my friend, my brother, Kip. Jambo bwana.
Good evening, Amanis Angapi America. How are you?
I'm all right. Welcome to the show. Naonekana umemaliza plantation kidogo ama ndio unaanza?
I was at work. I'm still writing, so it's just a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all right. How are you guys?
We are doing okay. So we kind of started the show just to talk about general life in the diaspora. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the things that you think people need to know when you go to different countries? And for most of the time, either Europe, Australia, America, the US, Canada, some of these principles are basically the same. You have an advantage of having come to the US and then move to Australia. So you kind of have even a broader perspective on those things. So Ebu, share some insights, some wisdoms to the Kenyans.
Yeah, I think I've been following largely what you guys were talking about. I think I did catch up with you guys when ALFRED was talking. And he really touched on a lot of things. I think the very important part is when you go into any country, whether it's anywhere, absolutely, even if someone going to Kenya, number one, they follow the rules, regulations, and the laws of the country. I think that's very important. Number two, don't make a fool of yourself. A lot of people come out here. There's a lot of freedom, especially if you're young. Some of us left Kenya when we were around 20. 20, you have the freedom. Then unaanza unapata pesa kidogo. You see, $100 buys a lot of things, and there's no parent to look after you. There's no one to control you. So you start now, losing direction. of what actually what you went there for, and you end up overindulging. It's okay to indulge, but to overindulge is a problem. So I think that's one thing a lot of our young people should really take care not to get swayed. The other thing really is just just do what you think and what you know is right. If it's going to school, if it's going to work, a lot of highest percentage of Kenyans, about I was looking at the statistic the other time, about 80% are going to school. And then only 10% or 15% are going for work, and then family migration talks up the rest. So there is a lot of Kenyans who are young, able and capable, able-bodied, and very smart people. That's the beauty of Kenyans. The other thing, I think for me, I was in, I remember the last time I was in America, I went to Idaho. We were only 2 Black people in the whole city, in Lewiston. So, of course, you have to know how to manage relationships with people, be friendly, be open-minded. Don't take your biases and try to force it on other people. Don't take your religion and think you can force it on other people. There are people who absolutely detest religion and anything to do with your religion, or these beliefs that, oh yeah. So shock on me. I think even I shared a dormitory with someone who practices something that is illegal in Kenya. For me, I was like, whoa, okay, this is a little bit weird, but I had to take it easy. He's very amazing human being, lovely and caring, and we should accept people for who they are. Yes, it might be legal in our country, but you're in somebody's country. What are you going to do? Just talk bad because you don't like that or you don't believe? Absolutely not. So I think those are the few things that I've seen, overindulgence, or trying to force people to believe the things. Or sometimes there's no need of, there's some things you believe in and some you don't believe in. It's very offensive in other countries to go and talk about those things. So just keep quiet. If nobody has asked you, you don't need to talk about those things. Yeah, I think I'll leave that at now. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bwana Kip. Felix, karibu sana. Welcome to the show. I see uko kwa barabara kabisa. If you can unmute yourself.
Wacha introduce mheshimiwa bwana.
Haya, wacha hata nimpigie salute kwanza, alafu ndio mheshimiwa.
Huyo sasa, wacha nikuambia, huyo sasa ndio mheshimiwa wetu hapa, senator wa Baringo 2022, anang'ang'ana na kina Gideon Moi.
Dawa ya Gideon Moi.
So huyu ndio dawa yetu, dawa ya hustler. So karibu sana bwana senator. Weka simu bwana, watu wakuone na utoe maoni.
You are muted. You may need to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just that I'm driving, but I'll try to share what I can. Mm-hmm. So my name, first of all, is Felix Chelaite. I'm Nico, Australia at the moment, and it's a very interesting topic which we're having right now about watu wa diaspora as well. Unajua sasa ninaongea in both capacity sasa, on Kenya and here in a diaspora na Kenya pia. So I carry 2 hats. So I'll start with the one that I am in currently, where I am in Australia, is that what I can say mostly about diaspora is that before you go anywhere, as you look for greener pastures to anywhere in the world, first is information. If you have the right information, you succeed. If you have the wrong information, unakwama. And most of the people, as I've said, also when I was trying to come to Australia, I was faced with the same challenge. Na wale walikuwa na the wrong information, the people who are willing to live the right information. So you must be very, very, it's a very thin line, but as well another factor is that uzuri sahi kitu iko ni because it's that help us a lot. Yo, mimi I'll say contributed a lot, because coming to Australia, and I also almost knew no one, and it's the farthest part of the world. So that contributed a lot. Internet and the agency, wale ambao wanaku guide, but also they don't guide you to the right path. Ile ukifika hapo unasema provided you've arrived, you'll walk your way out. But information is key. To anyone who is going abroad, be it any country, information is key. If you have that, then you can have a softer land, because at least you know if you get there, this is what you know. Second, is that when you get here, there are so many opportunities. Anywhere in the world, be it US, be it Europe, be it UK, be it Australia, Canada, all those countries, they are full of opportunity. Just about you pushing yourself, knowing what you want, what are you going to achieve there, what is your goal, what do you expect. If you have those in mind, na unajua pia lazima ulipe black tax. Black tax here is you don't even say it. It's a must.
Yes.
So hiyo ni lazima. So well, and those at the moment that unajua sasa ile uzuri iko, we have a global the technology has improved. You must know someone who knows someone who is somewhere. So, if you're able to get in touch with these people wherever they are, they will help you. Now, wanakusaidia the right way. You're able to maneuver your way. Well, to the Kenyans, we are so many abroad, and I can say we also help those who are trying to cross the bridge. You don't have, unajua sasa kuna wengine wakifika hapo wanaona wamefika, and then they forget their brothers and sisters who are also trying to come over. Let us be a helping hand. Saidia wako wengi, and then it will make it easier for those, because you don't have to, the other person who is back there doesn't have to go to the same challenges that you went through.
Yes.
You can make it easier, It's a helping hand. Lazima we help one another. On that, there's so many programs for education, for working. Australia is a bit stricter on working visas and PR, unless you're here. But a few of those, there are people who have gotten their visas and their permanent residence before they land here. So you see, if I knew, maybe I would have landed as a PR instead of coming as a student. It's the same about information.
Yes.
Same with the US and the other countries. So my summarizing up is about information. Once you get here, you maneuver your way. It's easy. As well, I'm an aspiring politician. 2022, Baringo County, and sasa sahi mimi niko kumalizia nirudi nyumbani. And about politics, about home as well. It's about having the exposure from wherever I am, from Australia, that I have gotten here. I think there's so much there's so much I can do and be able to implement if given the position of the implementation. Unajua ni ngumu sana kuwa it's like all we do as the people abroad, we are very, very well exposed, very educated. We have seen the world in different perspective, in different angles, in different sphere. But all we can do is give an advice to a person who has the power to either take the advice or ignore the advice. So this time around, it's not about now giving or taking. Let us just go there and make the decision to improve the lives of our people. Because there are so many avenues we have seen work, and they are very successful. But in Kenya, you wonder what is the problem. If we get the same system working.
Yeah.
Bwana Senator.
Yes.
Kabla uendelee sana Arama, sorry kukatisha mkubwa, lakini ningependa arudi sasa atueleze ni yapi amejionea hapa na ni nini ata implement. Wacha tupatie na Albert atuambie, alafu Senator arudi atuambie ni yapi sasa akirudi huko amepata hapa, ni nini amelearn na ni nini atasaidia wananchi, alafu kila mtu achape round yake pia.
Okay, so Albert alisema where is right now is very noisy, so that's why he's muted. He's just listening in, but he can post a comment. Before turudi kwako bwana Senator, there is a question online. Somebody is asking, Godfrey Barasa anauliza, what plans do our brothers and sisters in diaspora have in terms of collectively investing back home? Is there a solid academic programs are they putting in place for our gifted brothers and sisters back here at home? My incoming member of parliament, Bwana Kip, wacha nikurushie hiyo wewe kwanza.
Well, that's a good question, and especially because for myself, I believe in education. The reason why I'm here, it's not because my father ate something. My dad, alikuwa askari, retired, and mom, kulima kawaida. So you see, I'm here because of education. I'm glad somebody asked about education. Number one, yes, it's a duty of every government to provide education, but we can complement. Even in this country, NGOs are complementing education. Churches are complementing education. Business community are complementing education. I think the specifically what we in diaspora are doing. Now, the problem with education sometimes and charity work, you don't put out there that, namsomesha mtoto wa fulani for obvious reasons. Unless I'm a charity organization where I need publicity, that's totally different because, you're looking for funds to channel out. That's when you need to do the publicity. But as an individual, as ARAMA or Kipchumba or, ALFRED or Felix, we cannot just go and blast somebody's child out there. But I think going forward, there's one thing that we need, which is diaspora constituencies. We've been talking about that for a long time. Once we have a constituency of our own, I think we are able now to put forward the vision that we have for education. Education center, the importance of a well-equipped computer center in every constituency or in every district. Like somebody said, Felix said, education or information is key. Some of us are here because we got a word of mouth and information only. That's just one word. And I'm sure you can attest, most of you can attest to that. It was just information. It's not necessarily about the funds, availability of funds or availability of money or well-connected family. It's just information, and then prayers and hard work, and then you sometimes you pressurize your family members. They come together, they take a loan, you come here, and then you pay the loan. But unfortunately, a lot of people in Kenya are very, very educated. Some people have masters, have PhDs, but they don't have jobs. So that's the reality of our country. Unfortunately, sometimes some of us, we try to get into politics to change that narrative and to change the why our country is like that. But you'll find people telling you, umeleta nini? And I can assure you, a lot of people who wanaleta nini, I will give you my money if it's 1,000 shillings. Unaenda unakula, unaamka the following day, and that's it. Can you imagine what I will do when I go to the parliament? I'll take back my money. And that's the reality that we need to teach our people. So hopefully, I hope I have answered, and we'll carry the conversation from there. I'll let someone else handle that. Yeah.
All right. Bwana Alfred, let me get to you. What do you say to Godfrey with that question of how can we help talented people, and is there options? Is there ways we can help them? How do we point them to the right place? What is your response?
Thank you so much, Bonarama. First of all, you don't have to be in diaspora for you to achieve. Secondly, you don't have to be in diaspora to support someone. And thirdly, you don't have to have money or resources to give an advice or support or help someone. Some advices or some help can be on advices, some help can be on just guiding someone, some help can be, just taking someone to someone whom can support. But quite often we have misplaced priorities and we take help as money. We take help as resources that one has to give it to you. I would tell you this, and I always use my story, ARAMA, to inspire. I came to Australia, and I happened to have become the first athletic captain of African descent in a university of 30,000 students, simply because I was happy to participate and engage on matter sports. And that gave me, in a country like Australia, that no one has ever been given scholarship in that university courtesy of their talent, I became the first person to be given a one-semester scholarship courtesy of my talent. Secondly, I was that proactive until I went into politics, the university politics, and I was elected as the first ever African person to be a vice president of a university of 30,000 students. This is an elective post. I was managing more than $300,000 in cash on matters in my office. What I would want to say is that if you are in a place, be proactive and try to do something. If I would have been here and said, look, I don't know much about the university, I'm not going to engage in this. First of all, that person, before you seek support, you have to show some interest. You have to show that you are doing something towards that direction. Speaking of which, yesterday, ARAMA, a guy from the US who was in the Olympics running, messaged me and said, look, Alfred, I'm looking for this boy whom was doing a triple jump in Nairobi during the World Under 20. That person, I don't know. The other boy that was doing this, I don't know. But I managed to connect them, and we had a conversation, a conference call. This guy in the US had already done a research on this boy. He has already reached out to 3 universities about this boy without the knowledge of this boy, and he didn't even have his contacts. And we managed to have a conversation together yesterday that lasted to around roughly an hour, trying to give this boy and guide him through on how to come. He's already secured a scholarship for this boy. So I want to tell you said Barasa.
Yeah, Barasa, yes.
We didn't have any touch with that boy, but surprisingly, every person has managed to reach out to him, and the boy was surprised. The only thing the boy would say was like, God bless you. I don't know you, Alfred, God bless you. The other guy, Keter, I don't know you, Keter, God bless you. And this guy is from Elgeyo Marakwet. He's not even from my county, he's not even from the county of this guy. So what I wanted to say is that show some interest. Try to do something so that people would notice you. I always tell people, do something and people would notice you. Usikuja uniambia Alfred unisaidie $10, unisaidie unitumie ya Friday 5 shilling. Tell me, Alfred, I am trying to put up a station here, unisaidie tu kuninunulia kamera. Ama nimenunua kamera, unisaidie kunifanyia advert, niweze kupata customers. That is how we can help. On another note, like Ipumba said, I am a person who is passionate about sports. I am a person who is passionate about education. And I would speak on my own, like, being here, I've seen how things can be here. I've risen from who I was before to whom I am today. And I am giving back to the society in my backyard in Nandi through a foundation called Lanson Foundation. So I would wish also to pass across to every person who is in diaspora who have at least got something. You know, hapa huwezi lala njaa Bwana ARAMA. Kwa mtu mwenye alitokea shida kama mimi, siwezi lala njaa sababu siwezi lala njaa siku ile nikikuwa 5 years, nilala njaa saa hii nikikuwa karibu na ingia 30 bwana, nilala njaa maisha yangu yote. So hapa mtu ukijikaza huwezi lala njaa. So sababu wewe umepata shilingi $5 hapa, jaribu kuchukua $1 iweze kufikia pia na mtu kule nyumbani uweze kumsaidia. And it doesn't have to be for you to come and achieve. It doesn't have to be for you to come and run in politics. It doesn't have to be that alafu kuwe unajulikana. No, it is because one, mimi nakuanga na logic moja, nasema nikijenga nyumba kwangu ya gorofa na rafiki yangu jirani ni mtu anaishi kwa nyumba ya nyasi, ikinyesha huyo mtu hawezi kuingia kwa nyumba yake, itabidi abomoe ingia aisuie kwa Alfred. Sio? Kuliko jirani achukue hiyo hatua bomoe, alafu kesho ikue kesi, siwacha nisaidia hata na mtoto wa jirani aweze kutoka nje ajenge nyumba ya jirani. Siwacha mali yangu pia ichungwe kwa kusaidia jirani. The 1000 that I give inasaidia mtoto aende shule, hiyo familia inaweza kujisimamia. Kesho mali yako hakuna mtu anaguza. Wanasema, "Hey, Alfred huyo mtu yetu hiyo." Haiwezekani mtu aguza vitu yake.
Yeah.
But people happen to think that when you give out, you have to receive. Don't expect a receipt back. Kama inaitwaje receipt? So usiexpect kupata saa hiyo. But hata mtu kukuambia tu asante Alfred, vitu zako zingine zitafunguka. When I was in the university at the office of the student leadership, quite a number of Kenyans were coming in, but they didn't know the direction. Mtu amekuja unajua huko agent, za zingine ma agents wengine tutakuja kumalizia ya agents. Agents lazima tu akuje akwambia, mtu anakuambia ukishuka hivi kesho unafanya kazi petrol station. Imagine. Ati ukishuka kazi tu inakungoja. So anaambia mtu mwenye alikuwa anafaa kukuja, wewe mtu akuja afanye PhD, anaambia aende afanye masters ya ngapi? Na huyu mtu ako qualified, huyu mtu hata hahitaji kufanya English, huyu mtu hahitaji kufanya nini, huyu mtu angepata scholarship, nilisaidia more than 3 Kenyans wenye walikuwa wanakuja kufanya, wange qualify kufanya PhD, lakini wameambiwa wakuje second masters, na hii ni pesa unalipia. Mtu amefanya English, mtu kwanza alikuwa ameingia afanya English, yenye hata hauhitaji kufanya English. But umeshaambiwa lazima uende anza na hiyo course. So I supported and I helped these people, na nilikuwa najua these people are high above me. These people ni wale, unajua hawa ukishafanya tu hiyo, ukifanya hiyo PhD unapata direct vitu kama permanent residency, unapata scholarship, unalipwa na serikali. But sikusema sababu mimi sipati hiyo privileges, siwezi waambia. Me, I told them, and most of them now are citizens. Sisi bado tunacheza kama sisi hapa, but I've been blessed in many other ways. So it doesn't have to, don't hide, don't keep the information. Share your information, share what you know. Give out. Alfred akikwambia kesho bwana cheza kama wewe, ka M-Pesa kidogo nikwambia information mingi. Cheza kama wewe sababu this information are factual. You are giving you information which are beneficial to you.
Yes.
Kitu ya mwisho nikiguzia hiyo ya Kachai bwana ARAMA ni kwamba unaenda kule, sitaki kusema kwa ubaya, unaenda kule town, unapatia mtu mwenye ni agent 30,000. Akufanyie process. Alfred hapa amekwambia unipatie hii kitu kidogo tu tucheze kisisi, nikwambia university gani, ni shule gani, una qualify kufanya course gani ni mzuri hapa, ni course gani ukimaliza unaweza kaa hapa, ni course gani ukifanya unapata kazi haraka. Na huyo ni mtu ule ukipata shida wa kwanza kuchapa yeye kwa WhatsApp group ni Alfred. Agent alienda kwa town na hata hujui namba yake ni gani ya WhatsApp. Unaona venye inapotusaidiane pamoja na sisi. Sababu niseme hivyo ni kwamba saa zingine pia watu wenye wako diaspora wakiona simu ya mtu nyumbani, mtu anajaribu kudoji sababu anajua next ni kuambiwa bwana cheza kiwewe kwa M-Pesa. Na saa hiyo bwana umekuwa umechapa kazi ya ukulima huko kwa shamba, umepigwa na jua, unakuja kuingia usiku shule, asubuhi unachapa njia tena unaenda kuchapa bwana kazi ya mkono bwana. Unajua hapo wakiona tukipiga picha na hizo magari kubwa kubwa wanadhania tunafanya kazi ya ofisi kubwa sana. Kazi hapa ni kazi ya mkono. Tusidanganyane. Tuseme ukweli. Watu wengi wenye wako hapa wenye ni wanafunzi, hakuna mtu anafanya kazi ya ofisi unless mtu akishamaliza shule. Kama hapa tuko na watu wengi lecturers, tuko na watu wako mpaka na tax agencies yao, kuna watu wanafanya kwa kampuni kubwa za mining. But kabla huyo mtu akue graduate, kazi ile tunatandika hapa ni kazi ya mkono. Kazi mimi kwanza mimi mwenyewe ni kufanya paving, ile ya kupanga mawe kwa barabara huko, unafanya landscaping. Sasa nienda kufanya landscaping bwana, uniambie cheza wewe 2000 ya Friday, kweli itawezekana bwana ARAMA? Mimi mwenyewe sikunywa bwana, nikutumie siwezi tuko sana.
That's very, that's very true. naona bwana Biwott anacheka hapa sana, anatingiza kichwa na anasema yeah, that's true.
Nakubaliana na yeye kabisa. I think ametuongelea wote.
Yeah, I think Alfred, kuna kitu umesema ya maana sana, and I want to emphasize that. Let me give you an example. One thing that I've learned is, and I think one of the unique things, especially like in the US, is people give. People give, and people give generously. And if you are a Christian, and let me just speak as a Christian, the Bible is very clear. When you give, it is returned to you tenfold. I can testify to that when you give, you always get more than what you give. People don't understand that. I will give you an example. I went to Baraton, and I can tell you I was one of the first students to apply for higher education loans board. Siku hiyo hata Baraton haikuwa, ukiona hiyo, unajua alikuwa anapeana form ya white iko na initials za shule. Nilienda Nakuru office, wakaniambia cancel Catholic hapo, andika Baraton. I was among the first students to apply. But when I applied, I went and told other students, nikamwambia, hey, kuna hii pesa ya loans board, apply, hata kama utapata 10,000, but it will help you. You go, and when you see an opportunity, tell somebody. To me, I believe that even if there is a position open somewhere, I will ask other people that I know who qualify to apply. Because at the end of the day, I would rather you, Alfred, as my friend, get that job. Because if you get it, somewhere, somehow, you are going to help me. And I will give you another example. Where I'm working right now, I've been in this company for almost 15 years. But I started in a very different position. I started working in a call center. But one of my colleagues who nafanya kazi na yeye pamoja, I happened to have gone to one of our switching center. I work in a telecommunication company for a visit. Tukatembea, nikawapeleka, and then there was a position that was open. Nikapigia manager ule simu, nikamwambia, hey, my friend apply his job, can you talk to the hiring manager, alafu tuone namna gani? So the guy went, he did the interview, na yeye hakujua anafanyiwa interview, because sometimes people do interviews in different way. He was driving around, wanatembea, wakaenda lunch, akakuja akaniambia, oh, tuliongea tu, akaniambia this thing, nikamwambia, my friend, that was an interview. He looked at me and like, are you crazy? That's not an interview. I told him, no, that was your interview. And sure enough, a few weeks later, he was hired. Now, 6 months later, a year later, a position was open in the department where I am now. Guess who I called for a reference? The person I helped to get a position. And he was glad. Akaniambia, saizi umeniambia kata simu, don't even talk. Let me make my phone calls. He called, and I got the interview and I got the job. So when you help somebody else, you create an opportunity for yourself also, or for other people, because even when I help, if I support you right now, I tell people there is nothing as powerful as somebody owing you a favor. A favor is more powerful than money. Kwa sababu, Alfred, if I help you now and I do this, support other people, I know, like, when I have an issue in Kenya and I need somebody to help, all I have to do is make a phone call. Hey, uko wapi? Niko mahali fulani. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you go this place and get this thing taken care of for me? When I'm sure. They go, no question asked. People go and do that. I have friends here, when they call and I say, hey, I need this money. I don't ask why, how. The question is, when do you need it and how much? If I have it, I will send it. Period. And for me, when I have an issue that I need, we get broke every now and then. So when I have an issue, I will call the same person and say, hey, my friend, I need, and anambia, hey, unataka ngapi? Kwisha, imeishia hivyo. So that's how we build relationship, and that's how we support one another. And when you hear of an opportunity, share that opportunity to other people. Because like you said, and I firmly believe the same thing, there is no need for me to have a palatial mansion at home when my neighbor anaishi kwa nyumba inanyesha, because at the end of the day, that person atakuwa anaangalia, he may either take an opportunity, nimekuja hapo kidogo, anakuja anagonga mlango, he takes whatever he wants and he goes. But if I help him to build himself up and he has something for himself, he will never look at me the wrong way. because anasema huyu jamaa alinisaidia. And that's one of the things I believe people have to understand. And I think that's what I've seen even here, corporate responsibility. Companies, when they go to places, they embed in the community and support community in their projects. That's what people need to understand, that we work together, but do your part. When I give you assistance, si ati tena nimekwambia enda kwa hii website apply kwa shule, tena unaanza kuniambia ati mtu yangu nitumie hiyo bundles.
Nifanyie connection.
Nifanyie sasa connection, nimekwambia enda hapa apply. The next question you need to ask me is, okay, I have applied, what else? Or try and do your own research, try and do some reading. Because most of the people don't understand that majority, and I would say almost all the countries, Europe, Australia, US, or North America for that matter, every information, majority of the information you need once you start these processes are right there on the website. You just need to follow instructions. Hapa hakuna shortcut ati wewe siuende uongee na huyo jamaa kwa ofisi anisaidie. Hakuna mtu unaongea naye. You apply, I go and tell him, hey, my brothers, because for me is when you're here, I don't care where you come from. You are my brother, you're my sister. I will go and say, my brother applied for this position or for this school. What can I do to help him process? Unasema, oh, you know this guy? Oh, yeah, sure. Because we create those personal relationships with people. And that's how you get help. And then for you, when you come, people have to understand that you came here on behalf of, you came here on somebody's reputation. Yeah, nimeona hiyo, somebody's reputation and somebody's name. So please, do not mess up somebody's reputation when you come to a place. Kama ALFRED amekupeleka Australia, si unafika huko tena wewe ndio umeanza kuingia ujangili huko, unafanya nini, umegonga watu barabarani. So the next time ALFRED goes to ask for somebody else opportunity, what wanamagana anasema, the last guy you brought here messed up, why would we trust you again? So those are the things that people have to understand. And also people have to understand the other thing that I really learned, and I'm glad that some of these things I learned even before I came to the US. Time management and respecting people's time. You cannot have a time, mtu amekwambia tukutane saa 4, wewe unaanza kusema mtu yangu niko kwa jam, ninafika hapo saa 5. No. Saa 4 kuja saa 4 on the dot you are there. Come 15 minutes early, come 20 minutes early. So that you respect people's time, because time is money, and for sure here time is money. So I don't want to talk, I'm trying to host the show, so I'm trying to also give people opportunity. Naona a new person has joined here, Bwana Kigen. Karibu bwana. You are muted. You are muted. So Why ajaribu ku unmute? I have a question. It's kind of funny, but how long did you take you before uacha ku convert from Australian or US dollar scheme to Kenyan money when you're buying something in the store?
Yes, nimekuja sasa.
Okay, sawa. Yeah.
Nimekuwa nikuwafuatilia sana Facebook mpaka nikaamua niingie hapa hivi.
Karibu bwana. Karibu.
Yeah, asante. Mimi natoka sehemu za Kericho Bureti, but niko Mombasa.
Oh, okay.
So ni kung'ang'ana tu na maisha tu. Unaona mahali tuko ni squeeze, lakini nimesema acha niingie tu at least niwaambie yale maneno mnazungumzia inajenga, yani inasaidia sana. Inasaidia sana. And vitamin to, yani vitamin kabisa no.
Kajutin nina kabisa.
Kajutan kabisa, yani imeniingia mpaka nimesema acha ni. So
moja mwae kuti tena kabisa tuko ichimika hapo met Kericho ino kabisa kwa kas kwa lenale.
It's the national platform.
Yeah, but nilikuwa tunataka kuuliza maswali machache tu.
Yes. Endelea.
Wale wana aspire kwa seats tofauti. Kuna nini? Ningependa kujua zile kama strategies zenye mko nazo ndio mtakoli corruption kama, especially let me narrow down, kama issues za bursaries. Unaona sasa mimi niko college, hii ni kitanda mimi nalala hapa hivi. So nikung'ang'ana, mimi nasomea civil engineering diploma. So the issue is kupata bursary kwanza, bursary ni noma sana. ni noma sana, na unapata wale wenye wanapata bursary pale nyumbani ni watoto wenye wanajiweza, wazazi wao wanajiweza. So ni strategies gani mnaweza weka ndio at least ile mkono wa yule kiongozi mwenye anaingia kiti ifikie yule mtu wa chini kabisa Alafu bodies, hizi financial bodies kama help saa zingine inatukalia ngumu sana, tunateseka kweli. So kuna mipango zingine tofauti apart from help, zile zitakuja ku reinforce help kwa ile area yako sasa yenye utakuwa tuseme kama foundation yenye inasaidia students wale wako hawajiwezi yani. Yeah, I think those are the few questions I had. Otherwise nimekuwa na wapata kila siku huwa nakuwa tu, lakini nakuanga chini ya maji.
Asante sana Bwana Kigen. So hiyo swali yako wacha nirushie waheshimiwa wangu hapa wawili. Kuna senator hapa, kuna member of parliament. I have an answer but I want them to respond first. Wakuambie their opinion, what they think. So Felix, let's start with you. Bwana Kigen ameuliza swali. What can we do to help Kenyans who are actually in Kenya right now in schools who are supposed to be getting assistance and bursaries, but the bursary goes to people who are actually well off, they don't need the bursaries?
Okay. Well, that's a very concerning conversation. Kwa sababu it's something that I've received constantly. Kwanza from Baringo, it's even worse because many residents, so many people are complaining, and I don't know what has happened especially this year when the schools opened, and they opened in the middle of the year. Najua normally we usually open huko January, watu wakiuza mahindi, wengine wakiuza kuna kitu inauzwa the December, watu warudi shule. Lakini this year it's been the worst because people went to school and people went to high school, and transition hiyo ilifanyika wakati hakuna something, and there was nothing productive to sell. So it's been a challenge. And another thing kile umesema ni about bursary. It's been given on who you know, how you know, and there are some people going to Baringo, there are MPs who are giving people according to how they voted, who voted for who. If you did not vote for me, I'm not going to give you the bursary fund. So you get so many people are suffering. Ule mwenye hajiwezi anaumia zaidi. So it's become a complex issue. So what I'll want to say first, on the bursary, let us be fair. If it's an MP, give according to the needs of your community, of the people who are applying. Do not cherry pick that because this person assisted me, they know this year, because I know this person. The person you're jumping off may be away from just being saved from the bursary, you may help them. But now, if you miss the opportunity to help them, they are gonna be maybe their future is doomed. And I have attended so many Arambes, their shule, school fees here and there, and it's plenty. And Kigen, I want to say my suggestion, and unfortunately the other day we saw the parliament wali decline ile maneno ya CDA, ya help to reduce the interest. There was some law that was trying to pass about the help, but I don't know how ile BBI was to come and help us, and then the same people who are propagating the BBI are the same people making it fall. I don't know, and I don't understand. But ni sawa tu, hii ni Kenya, tunakubali. Maybe we will change when tukikuwa hapo mbele. But for now, what I'll want to say again, help is a savior to many. Help is a savior to, if it were not for help, I know so many students will not be able to attend university education. And the fact that it is being, again, it's also a challenge not everyone is getting. What I'll advise is that there are so many other NGOs and foundations and personal people who are helping in helping those who don't have school fees, who have challenges. I personally, as a senator, I'll say I don't have a fund to allocate for people if I am elected for bursary, but I'm doing something. I'm trying to get sponsors to help those people who have challenges of education. That's number one. That is I'm doing out of reach. That is me. That is personally I'm doing something to bridge the gap. You know, they say education is the key to success.
Mm-hmm.
So if you deny someone the education, maybe that was the only key to help them improve their lifestyle, improve their whole generation. So that is my focus. Education to me is very close. Education in Australia, Ningekuwa village after a drunkard, something else will have happened. But for me personally, I'll say education, even now at the moment, I'm trying to get people who can help me here and there and put up the school fees to the many other disadvantaged families that are not able to raise school fees. Second is Keegan, on your end, I know tertiary education is quite expensive because you have to cater for your food, your hostel, your transport, and many other things. Kuna research, kuna nini, and if you don't have any finance backing, you end up either dropping, you do other things to complement that. I think that we need now to pass a law that, and then another disadvantage is universities are adding school fees every other day. That's another thing. So I think we need to come around a table and say education is important, be it primary, be it secondary, be it university. That should be the basic. Unajua saa hii imefika form 4, and then they are saying this other one is up to you. So I think we should come to a point where we say up to university level, the government can cater for it. To those who are able, I know so many people are able, and those people who are able will not maybe depend on help. There are people who don't depend on help. But for the common mwananchi, let us put a place where we say, tumefika form 4, but there are people who want to transition to a university, but they are not able to because of limited funds. Can we be able to make it equate a right of education to university? From there, because if we cherry pick, so many people are suffering out here, and we cannot help everyone. Me personally, I cannot help everyone. Kipchumba cannot help everyone. Joel, Alfred cannot help everyone. Unajua? But if we put a law out there, it is able to equalize the ground, equalize everyone. Yeah, I think that is the best. Lakini kwa sababu sasa Kigen ameingia hapa, ituweke hapa, kila mtu hata akimwekea sawa hapo anapona, analipa school fees. Tuanzie hapa, tusisemee maneno mengine mbali.
That's a good challenge, Bwana Senator. So
waheshimiwa wanaweka, sisi tunasindikiza bwana. Na
thank you, Alfred. Hapo hata mimi hapa nimekubaliana. Acha tuende bwana, keep quickly. Can you respond to Kigen? And before you respond to Kigen, let me add to you another question. Peter Wekoro on Facebook is asking, he's making an observation that most Africans go out of their countries to take care of their individual needs. Do they come together with African solutions? Do we have some collective solutions or programs that diaspora are implementing on the ground? This can encourage our youth and give hope that we continue to homegrown solutions. So combine those two. So he's asking challenges of individuals. We take care of ourselves first, and we don't have solutions. Do we have any solutions for people back home? So I'm sorry. His name is Wekoto Peter Omondi.
Wacha mheshimiwa respond, alafu nda summarize ya mheshimiwa.
Okay. For me, I will answer Peter as follows. One, that I think I wrote to him actually on Facebook that you cannot put off fire at your neighbor's house if your house is on fire.
Yes.
So you start from home, and even the Bible itself says charity begins at home. So if we're talking of Africa, Africa is big. We cannot pretend to solve issues of Rwanda, Burundi, and other countries. We'll start at home. So for me as an individual, I'll start in Nandi, and even I'll go smaller to Chesumei, where I want to be a member of parliament. And then from there we expand. Now, those things, we're doing it in the ground. The only issue is how do we come together? The problem is we have a lot of issues, just like Alfred was saying, we're solving issues of our weekend and all that. We cannot be doing those things. That's not how we solve things. We want people who are requesting, just like Alfred said, I have started a business, I've put together this kind of money, this is what my vision is, can you lend me a hand, help me? Those are the things that we need. We don't need handouts. It's indignifying to be given handouts every now and then. I think some of us and a lot of our people deserve some dignity and not the handout, business. Now, let me go to Mr. Keegan. Keegan was asking about corruption, and especially when it comes to what is it called, loan, the help. Number one, I think normally things to do with money or help, a lot of people, it's hard to know whether people are poor or not. It's very, very challenging. But as a member of parliament, this is what I would do. I would identify these kids using sub-chiefs, not even the chiefs, because chiefs cover a big, big area. And then there are also the school village elder. Those people know who are working and who are not working. That's how you identify people who have means. So my number one priority would be children without parents, the orphans. Number two would be single parent household, especially mothers alone. Chiefs know those things. The Nyumba Kumi initiative will work where I'm from, where we know our neighbors and what they are capable or not capable of doing. So that will be how I identify people who are deserving of these monies, which is help loan. It will be transparent, and I will not be the one to do the disbursement or the decision. Those things will be done by people in religious organizations, the teachers, and how you pass your education. We cannot just, throw away money like that. We just have to go through a process, a very hard vetting process that people who are deserving will get those monies. Number two, I think legislation in parliament, I will work tirelessly to make sure that they reduce the help loan, especially the interest rate, or they do the freezing. They don't need to pass the referendum to change the constitution to do the freezing of the interest rate. Those will be number one priorities for myself. And then the other thing, I'll have to partner. I think partnership is very important. I will identify people like Alfred who are already investing in education, who are already sponsoring people. I will learn from them and sit down with them, and we'll sit down with NGOs, non-governmental organizations. We'll sit down with business communities like Safaricom Foundation. Our people from the village don't access this because they don't know these things. And that comes to information. We'll sit also with, other interest groups, like the alumni of certain universities. The alumni of universities or high schools have a lot of money. Alumni of Kosovo Boys will sponsor Kenya if they want. They're very, very powerful people. And those are the people who will help, our younger people paying some school fees, mentorship. So as a member of parliament, that's what I will do. And the last one, to solve all this together. We crying and wanting help loan because we don't have money. We don't have the resources. I'll be deliberate and very focused on solving issues at home, on the grassroots. And that's empowerment. You empower people financially. You make sure that mothers have an income. Once you have an income that's coming to the family through mothers, and then you have income that will solve the issues of the family, the bread and butter issues, and then the fathers will now bring in to support the family in terms of education, or young people also. So I think for me, I will focus on these 5-point issues that I've raised. Yep.
Thank you. But Alfred, before you respond and summarize, Mheshimiwa Joshua Boija ako kwa laini hapa. Bwana Joshua, you want to say something to the people?
Hello, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is your question again? I just woke up. Yeah.
So our discussion has diverted to one of our listeners or people who view that the tackle was asking about. He's facing challenges with the higher education loans board, getting loans to pursue his education goals. Mr. Keegan is in Mombasa. Anaishi kwa bedsitter ya platform. That's what I can call it, you know, those double-decker beds with his roommates. So you can tell he's a real hustler, so to speak. So his question is how can because his question is majority of the scholarships or bursaries that are supposed to be available to poor people, they are actually taken over with well-off people who are connected either to the member of parliament, to the MCA, to the senator, or to the governor. So how can we solve that issue and get this money to the right people who actually need the help?
Actually, I've been a recipient of bursary in 2011. I'm in India right now. And I was given bursary. And after some time, when I met the president, and I asked about the bursary. And the persons who are supposed to answer in that audience were around 5 CS in New Delhi. They said that the bursary were given to those children of former MPs and others. Then I asked why. The president asked, what is the reason? They could not answer it. So the only solution for Kenyan education system is to go back to the drawing board, because there has been people who have been getting scholarships and bursaries, and in Kenya wanasema ya kwamba you have to have connections na lazima ujue mtu. So they need to change that so that the children who are educated can get a scholarship and bursaries. In India here, watu wanapata scholarship ni wale watu wa watoto maskini, and they have that system that the children have to be looked upon, and watu wanasoma PhD na masters, wengine wanalipwa kwenda kusoma hiyo. Unaangalia Kenyan system, watu walipwa kwenda kufanya PhD. You pay a lot. You know, when I went to Nairobi University and asked if I can do PhD in 2014, they told me you have to have at least 800,000. In India, I'm paying $500. That is around 50,000 Kenyan shillings for PhD per year. So that is the difference that we have. And we go to university for around 4 years, while these other countries, they go for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Na baada ya kumaliza shule Kenya wanauliza mtu unafanya nini, anasema ati naongojea nimalize graduation ndio nipate kazi. I'm waiting for graduation. While we are waiting for graduation in Kenya for 6 months, somebody in India has gone to Canada or to Australia to go and study, bado tunaongojea graduation. Naangalia. So we need to change our education system. Actually, I can say today that it is there to make money, not to help the youngsters in Kenya. And the real talents are not tapped. And hata pia the syllabus in Kenya and then the courses that people are doing in Kenya are not coming up to help the economy back. Because I have seen here, those who have done diploma in engineering and gotten scholarships are the ones building the Bajaj pikipiki, wana build hiyo kuna Bajaj na kuna TVS na inakuja Kenya. Watu wa diploma ndio wanajenga hizo pikipiki zinakuja Kenya. So we need to, wale watu wanasema wanataka benchmark, they don't go and see what is benchmarking. Wanaenda kujitafutia na warudi nyumbani. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bwana Alfred, your comment real quick about Keegan's question and in general about bursaries and challenges that people face obtaining bursaries.
First of all, I would say that to Keegan, on matters corruption, it is quite true. If it was the case, many people would have succeeded. But of course, because of corruption, a few have been, and those who are well connected. It is there, it is known. Even I would say this without fear or favor, that many people who come, in Australia or any other countries, we have Commonwealth scholarships. Yes. But if you can check who are these people getting this Commonwealth scholarship that countries give about 50 or so in a year, you happen to see and notice that it is not a child of a common mwananchi back at home. It is a child of Mheshimiwa. It is a child of a director. It is a child of someone who is working somewhere who knows the system. So it is quite unfortunate. And the only way that I would use that, if I was a member of parliament or a governor, I will not actually encourage things to do with bursaries, to be sincere. I will leave bursaries for the national government or wherever. But personally, I will give scholarships under my jurisdiction as a governor or as a member of parliament through the money given through the money given, the kitty of a member of parliament. Why should I say so? I believe in a community and a society, all kids are equal, right?
Yes.
And you give someone who has passed well a scholarship to go and further something that he or she wants. If someone gets an A at the university, at the Form 4, you give them also scholarship so that the other young ones happen to know that when you pass well in the university, in Form 4, you go to university courtesy of my member of parliament scholarship, like Wings to Fly. Look what Equity is doing. They are doing things, and many kids now are doing better for that, so that they can achieve that things. Secondly, is that these other ones that are really from humble background, we use something called like the same way that Kipchumba said. You do scouting. You make sure that you scout well. You make sure that these are the real people who are actually being faced by these challenges, and you have at least 2-3 verifications, a two-way verification to know that actually this is the person that deserves. And you even have to go to schools. You know, these schools that you go, you check with the head teachers, you check with the class teachers that actually this kid that we want to support, how is he in school and how is the overall everything about them, so that you get actually the utmost information on how you can support that person. But unfortunately, we don't have much time when it comes to this scholarship, or when it comes to these bursaries, because we sit in the office and expect to support people that we don't know, and then we are brought names. So these names that are being brought, you don't know who are these people, but you actually just release the money. I want to tell these people who sit at these MPs and governors' offices, your days are numbered. And unless people who will not be good leaders are not elected, but your days are numbered, you have to act now. This is the moment you have to act. Na mimi naambia raia pia, ukiona ule mtu mwenye anateseka kule nyumbani na hajasaidika, na kuna mheshimiwa unasikia anasema amepeana bursary, simamisha wewe mheshimiwa kwa sherehe, ambia wewe uliiba, ulipeana pesa kwa mtu wrong, ndio ajua anafanya kazi bure kabisa. Sababu wanasemanga mtu hawezi kuja kusema baada ya miaka 5 ni nini amefanya. Ni raia wataambia asante kwa kazi yenye tumeona. But ukiona ule mtu bado anakuja kujiexplain, nilipatiana bursary ni nini, haujafanya kazi. Hakuna bursary umepeana, umetumia favorism na hakuna kazi umefanya. Unafaa utolewe hata kabla hujamaliza term yako. Ya mwisho ni kwamba kuna mtu aliuliza wale watu wenye wako diaspora ni nini ama ni yapi wamepanga. Kipchumba alisema vizuri sana. Unajua wana ARAMA wanasemanga charity begins at home, and sometimes that home happens to be you as an individual.
Yes.
You have at least to get moving for you to push or to pull someone. You cannot be stuck, but you want to push or pull someone.
Yeah.
Nyinyi wote mtazama na hakuna penye mnaenda.
Yeah.
But ile mimi ninasemanga kwamba ukishatoboa kupita matobe ile ilikuwa inakuzuia hapa katikati, umepita umevuka kidogo. The most important thing now is now pull together, come in together, and now support and give the best. I will tell you, Lanson, I started and people were laughing and saying, look, we kijana atatoa wapi pesa. At that moment I was young, I didn't actually personally sikuwa najua penye naenda, but I had the faith, and I always had to pray, God, you know why I have started this, don't fail me, look through me in this. And right now we have supported more than 30 students. 3 of them have gone to the US. Ingawa saa zingine mtu akifika US network inakatika, but at least huyo mtu hayuko kwa matope huko Nandi, hayuko kwa matope wa Singishu, hayuko kwa nyumba ya nyasi. Wengi naona wamebadilisha hapo, wawili wameanza kujenga ka plot hapo center, anaulizia hapo, even though some of them we don't connect more, but at least yo mtu amefuka. So what I wanted to say is that at some point in time you need these people and we have to pull together. I'll give you a quick research that I've done for ARAMA. In Australia, we have nearly in three people, 2 are nurses. Or they say nurses, as whatever pronunciation people say. In 3 people, 2 are nurses, whether male or female.
Yeah.
These nurses get paid $70 and above per hour. Mtu ya mkono kama Alfred bado tunacheza tu na hii kidogo hatujafika 70, but these people who are paid $70 an hour, if 50 of them who are from Nandi would pull in together every fortnight, kwa sababu huku tunalipwa every 2 weeks. If those people would come, 50 of them, na watoe $50 every fortnight into a kiti ya nurses for Nandi, na waende hapo Mosoria. Mimi natoka Mosoria, so napigia tepe Mosoria sababu mimi nataka kuwasaidia watu yangu ya Mosoria. Waseme kwa mwaka 50 times 100 sababu ni kwa mara mbili kwa mwezi. Hiyo ni $100 times 50 people, hiyo ni $50,000 that you have not felt, you have not even realized how you raise. $50,000 is 5 million nyumbani, si ndio? 5 million inajenga nini nyumbani? Inajenga a 3 size classroom ile kama ya 40 students, ndio? Wakijenga tu moja a room hapo Mosoria ile inatoshana na shule, na waende hizi mahospitali hapa waseme we want hii kitu ya kufanya scanning ya kichwa, hii ma MRI nini, waseme tumekuwa na 20,000, give us on an advance, ama saidia sisi kabisa tuko na 20. Bwana mkubwa unaandikia hata barua hapa, mheshimiwa hapa, saidia sisi tusukume, tusaidie watu nyumbani. Who did not say yes on people wenye wamekuja pamoja? And by so utakuwa umesaidia watu ya area, watu wanatoka huko Kabiet, watu wanatoka huko Kamnyambisa, watu wanatoka hata mpaka Kaptumu, wakuja wapate service ile ya free ama ile ya chini kidogo. Kwa ile MRI sahi kutafuta Kenya unaweza lipa 50,000, unasema yetu sababu ni ya ku give back to the community, we are doing a 10,000 sababu tulipe wale watu ambao wanafanya kazi hapa. 1, umeandika watu kazi. 2, unapata kitu yako kidogo. 3, umesaidia watu wasiende mpaka Nairobi ama waende mpaka Nakuru kupata hiyo service. Na mwisho kabisa you have supported. Ile tu kitu moja yenye imetusumbua, na ni ukweli tuseme, tunajitakia zaidi. Tunaendelea tunajipambisha, lakini hatuna ile roho ya kusaidia. Wengi wetu tunataka kujenga nyumba Nairobi, tujenga nyumba Kisumu, tujenga nyumba Nairobi. Hatufikiri hata tukisaidia siku moja ni kama ile vitu, pesa yote tunachanga itaisha. Haiwezi, pesa tutatafuta. Hata mimi nilitoka nyumbani Sunday bwana ARAMA, sijarudi, niko kwa hii njia tu natafuta, na sijawahi kwa tajiri bwana, sijawahi tosheka na hivi. So najaribu kuambia watu tusaidiane, kuja pamoja kama Wakenya, tusaidiane, tufanye kazi bidii, na pia tufikirie kama kuna kitu wewe uko na uwezo, fikia watu kama kina Kipchumba, kina Benson, kina Alfred ambao wamefanya kitu ili waweze kukupatia maono. Maono saa zingine zinasaidia sana. Mtu anaweza kukupatia maono tu na umejijenga.
Thank you Bwana Alfred, that's very good advice. I think nitaongezea tu kidogo tu, Bwana Kigen, one thing, getting the right leaders will help you. Tuweke viongozi ambao wana msimamo wa maana na wanajali wananchi. Second thing, let every constituency or county publish the recipients of those bursaries. Ndio wakiweka majina, ukiona mtu fulani hapo amewekwa jina na unajua huyu mtu anajiweza, utauliza swali, sema how? Why is this person getting this money when we know they are kids, watoto wenye hawana, ni mayatima, wengine unajua kabisa wazazi wao hawajiwezi, and those are the people you're supposed to support. Alafu unakuta saa zingine hata wale watu wamepewa hiyo bursary, they were not the best performers in school. you leave a child who is very smart, they don't get a chance, and then unapatia mtu pesa yeye kwa sababu ajui struggle ni nini, hata hiyo shule anaenda tu kucheza huko, hiyo pesa inapotea hivyo. So I think those are the things that we can approach and help people in that way. Now, to answer the question ambayo somebody, Bwana Emmanuel anauliza, how are we supporting, having plans for Kenyans? I think ALFRED amesema foundations. Personally, also, we are in the process of setting up a foundation with a few friends that we came together. And these are people I didn't know before. We met through some events, and we were like, hey, why don't we start a foundation to support kids in Kenya to go to school, and especially kids who are marginalized, abused, orphans. Those are the categories that we look at. And currently we have 2 of them already in school, and ni kitu tumeanza tu just a few months ago, and we are in the process of registering. Once you register, then you can start raising money. That is the way we can give back. But for our people in Kenya, for heaven's sake, I'll keep on saying the same thing all the time, and I will repeat again and again and again. As long as we are electing the same people to go back in office, we will continue having the same problems and even worse until we smart up. Na unauliza mtu swali, wewe umesema umepeana bursary vile ALFRED amesema, ulipatia nani hiyo pesa? Can you show us? Then in that way you hold people accountable for what they are saying. Let people not come and give you word of mouth na kujipiga kifua, and you know very well there is nothing they have done. If somebody says ulipatia mtu pesa, who did you give that money to? Can you tell us? That is the only way we are going to move forward. And also, somebody suggested also that we need to make a school affordable, or people who don't have money, they need to go to school for free. In a sense, I agree with you, but we have to face reality also. The people who work in those schools, the professors, the people who work in, what we call auxiliary or support staff, they have to be paid. And most people, the way they get paid is by school fees that is raised. But if the government, like Boyd Villa amesema, if we have a better plan whereby some of these programs, I don't have to pay 800,000 to do a PhD program. If the program actually benefits the country and is something that can be applicable to the country, then we should not have this person pay for it. Kama mtu anaenda kufanya, studies, policy making, agricultural stuff, things that are actually going to impact the country in a positive way, that person should not be charged for do their advanced degree programs. We should actually be sponsoring them. Then we tell them, ukimaliza rudi huko kwa kijiji, uende usaidia wananchi huko vile watapanda vyakula in a smart way and harvest more from a small area. That is the only way we are going to help. But as long as you are going to tell somebody to pay 800,000 to do PhD, the first thing he does when he needs to get his money back. So atenda atafute kazi nje ama whatever so that he can get his money back. But if you offer this person to take them to school for free with the understanding that they have to give back to the community, and we have to emphasize this issue of giving back to the community. And you cannot give back to the community when the community did not give anything to you. So to me, I say, Keegan, and I will give you, like ALFRED says, I give an example of myself. I will tell you that when I was in the university, there is a time I went to the Higher Education Loans Board and stood in line. Jamaa akaniangalia akaniambia, wewe, leo upati pesa. I asked him why. No, you have stayed in school too long. I asked him one question. Is there a time limit of being poor? Kama unasema I only have 5 years to be poor, then you tell me. Because I cannot be standing here. I need money to finish school. And the reason why I'm in school for a longer time is because I cannot afford to pay all the school fees. That's why I need this loan board. Jamaa kanambia, no, I'm not helping you. You step out of the line. Nikamwambia, I am not moving. You have a choice. All you need to do is write for me a note so that I can go to the 19th floor and appeal my case to the people in the 19th floor so that they can authorize for me to get my loan. Where you are doing your job, yes, but there is another process. You cannot stop me from going to that process because you think that is not corruption. I am looking for what I believe I deserve to get. At the end of the day, they threatened, wakaniambia ni security. Lucky for me, the security was a man from my hometown. Nikamchapia lugha, nikamwambia we boss, we kaa hapo kwa mlango bwana, usisonge, we simama tu hapo, huyu jamaa lazima niandikie barua. Eventually I got the note. I got the money. I went back to school. Nilimaliza. I paid back my loan. I took advantage one time when they had interest free to freeze interest. I paid it off. I returned what I had. So at times, Keegan, you really have to push. And when people tell you no, don't just take no and walk away. Insist. I have gone to the Ministry of Education when they have bursaries. Unaingia mtu anakwambia no, there is no money. Naambia boss, I am here. I am not leaving until you give me the money. Oh, you have been in school. Same story. You have been in school for too long. The reason why I'm in school for too long is because I don't have the money. You give me the bursary, then I can finish school. And then I can be a productive member of the society. But if you just keep quiet, then you cannot make these people feel ashamed for what they're doing because they're giving that money to other people. Because I know for sure, even with the bursaries in the Ministry of Education, they were giving money to people who I know. Some of them had even graduated. Lakini bado pesa ilikuwa inatumwa ati mtu wako shule. Mtu alimaliza shule 10 years ago, but his name is still on the list and the money is going to somebody else. So you really have to challenge some of these people to get what you want. And don't ever give up. To me, that's one of the encouragement I can give you. So while we are coming down to wind down the show, Bwana Biwott, naona umezima kamera yako kidogo, so I don't know if you want to come back. But in the meantime, Boyd, do you have anything to contribute? We right now just summarize either on this topic or anything else that of interest for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Even I'm planning to run for a bigger seat than I thought I'll run for. I'll announce soon, but I might run even for presidency. I don't fear anything. I'm from Kitale. Anyway, yes. So my main aim is funding. We have to do what we call as fees must fall. The education system in Kenya and in Africa overall, the fees is so high for people. And how do we make fees must fall? The way you say that actually the people, lecturers need to be paid, those who are working in the schools need to be paid.
Bwana boy, tuweka kamera watu waone president vizuri bwana. Hapo.
So what I was saying is that the first thing is fees must fall. And when you say that we need to ensure that wale wanafanya kazi ma lecturers wanalipwa, wale wanafanya kazi kwa mashule wanalipwa, I agree with you on that. But I might disagree a little bit. We need to do what we call as to ensure that the system works. The system is not working. Number one, to reduce amount of money transport system, we need to focus on that. We need to focus on agriculture, wakulima wapate pesa ili wapate kupeleka watoto wao shule. We need to ensure hospitali pia pesa ina reduce. Mimi nikienda hospitali hapa India naenda kulipa 30 bob kwa government hospital, nalipa 300 kwa private hospital. Naenda mambo ya kidney, mtu anakuja kutoka Kenya anakuja India, pesa ya Eldoret zote zinaishia India. By the way, I have to say this one I have to say. I don't fear that. All the money that people arambe mnachanga yote Kenya inakuja huko. So we need to ensure that to reduce gharama ya hospitali, gharama ya transport, gharama ya wakulima kununua mbolea, so that when we reduce the fees, the government is balanced. Na mshahara yote Kenya ndakana ikatwe nusu. But tunakata mshahara nusu kama tumesaidia wakulima, tumesaidia walimu. Wanafunzi wa walimu huku hivi wanalipiwa pesa shuleni. So wanafunzi wa walimu Kenya hivi wakilipiwa, mwalimu anasema I want 300,000. Akilipwa 150 na mtoto wake wote wamelipiwa shule, then we can help that. The Ministry of Education, kuna scholarships mingi za different governments iko kwa website ya Ministry of Education. Wanafunzi wengi wajui. But the problem is this. There are new scholarship, let's say for 2021, to study in India, to study in Canada, to study in Mauritius, New Zealand, Thailand. They don't update it. When you click on the Ministry of Education website, utaangalia scholarship ya 2016 nashindwa, si watoe, bado inafanya nini hapa? So unaenda scholarship za Egypt zote za wapi? Unaangalia deadline 2016, 2017. You ask yourself, what about 2021 ziko wapi? Aziko. Lakini ukienda huko kwa ofisi, unagundua bado zimekuja, lakini nobody is updating that. So we need to ensure that things the government inakuwa updated and simu hazishikwangwi. Simu ukipiga ndugu yangu Kenya huko simu hazishikwi. Hapo ukipiga simu ofisi ya minister atashikwa. So I'm trying to see how we can be able to work on that. Na wale wanasimama UMP, wanasimama senator, go for it. I'll visit all the 47 counties, hata kama na baiskeli, nitavisit. Nitakuja Kenya soon, nikimaliza PhD yangu, I'll visit. We need to talk to our youngsters. We want them to go out of the country and come back and build that country. Kenya is a rich country, I can tell you. We have everything. But only we lack leadership kuanzia mashinani. Grassroots democracy ndakana ianze na inaanza na sisi. And Joel, thank you so much for this program. We need to start that grassroots democracy of empowering our youth. For social media wakuje waongee their issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Wanna be what?
Thank you. Yes. Yangu mimi sina mingi. I think summarize. Yote yenye wamesema is things that I feel to say. Ningetaka tu kuongezea mambo ya probably hiyo mambo ya systems. I think Kenya tunahitaji ku make sure systems zina work, you know. All the systems, mambo ya health, mambo ya scholarships pia. Hiyo mambo ya scholarships ni kidogo iko na mambo ya networking. So I think ni kujuana tu, inategemea mtu kujuana. So mention Mr. Boyd hapo mention Egypt. Nikakumbuka I was lucky as well. About 2010 nilienda Egypt on a scholarship, a full scholarship. So hiyo ilikuwa ya Nile Basin countries between Uganda, Egypt, Kenya and Sudan. So nilikuwa lucky enough nikafanya bachelor's huko. So wakati nilimaliza ndio nika apply kukuja Australia. So I think it's more of mambo ya networking, kujua pia kuwa na hiyo knowledge, ujue ni wapi una apply hizi scholarships, ni wapi unapata hizi information, you know, it's really valuable. Otherwise, I think our watu wote wamesummarize everything that I needed to comment today or to suggest. So thank you very much, Bwana ARAMA. Asante.
Asante sana.
Mimi sikuangi na story mingi. Mimi ni wale wanakaanga nyuma ya politicians.
Yeah, okay. That is good. So it's very amazing. First of all, I have a Mr. President, I have a senator, I have an MP. Sasa sijui biwote ni muite MCA ama ni muite governor, I don't know. But to me, yes, it's encouraging that actually we are coming up and ready to go give back to our community. And I will share this with people. I say one of my dreams, and this dream come from personal tragedies and personal experience. I lost my mom in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2002. I lost my father-in-law in 2015. And all this is what I can call unavoidable deaths. Kwa sababu they did not get the right medical care that they needed. So one of my dreams, and I say if I am blessed to get people to network and start talking to people, is to build a hospital that can be an example of how a hospital is supposed to be run and how you can give people the health care services they need. You have a trauma center. I can share this with you. You have helipads whereby mtu amepata accident Kisumu. They assess the person, you send a chopper there, it picks this person, gets him to a specialized treatment where they get care where this person can actually survive and keep on living. That is where we need to aim at when we have these kind of visions whereby you are ready to go in and do something for the community and do something for your people. Start, like Kip said, you can start small and then gradually start expanding so that we start networking. Boyd has an ambition. Felix has an ambition. Kip has an ambition. Biwot like me, umesema sisi ni watu ya support staff kutoka nyuma, so that when Biwot goes up, I say, Biwot, hey, you say this, I'll be your conscience. I stand up and tell you, Biwot, Boyd, you say this, can you keep your promise? So that we can face, I tell Kip, when you are writing your resume campaigning, this is what you say. I need to hold you to that. Hata kama sitoki Chesumei, those are areas that I know, you know, when ALFRED was talking about Mosored and mentioning some of the areas, and I said, I know that place. Nilikuwa nasimama hapo nakula mahindi nikipanda matatu kwenda LD. Saa zingine unafika mahali hapo unashuka matatu unapanda ingine kupunguza bei. So these are places that I know and I can connect with those people. I know where those people come from. I know the struggles they face. And when we connect in that way and share ideas and hold each other accountable, so that we can give, because I believe, and I've said this, and I even said to some people, I say, the day we get proper leaders who can show people what they can do and what actually they have and what they can achieve, our country will be transformed. Then we will not have a need. There will not be need for me to be outside my country because all the opportunity I need will be there. The problem is the opportunities which are there, I cannot get access to them because I don't know anybody. Or the people I know, the best they can do, because I can tell you, I went for interviews, wakati I don't know what they call the employment commission, employment board. We used to go to interviews pale Nakuru show bwana, unaambiwa vacancy ya hii ministry ni 50 in the country. You are 5,000 people waiting to be interviewed. Unaangalia saa zingine unasema bwana, statistically I don't have a chance. Let me just go somewhere else and do something else. So, but that's where we need to come, whereby, you know, you give people a chance. Innovation. There are people who have great ideas in Kenya that we need to give them a platform and a forum where they can develop their ideas and become somebody, develop things. You know, in some of these countries, somebody has an idea. They go push that idea, they go pitch the idea somewhere, somebody gives them some money funding, they boom, wanaendelea, they employ people, become billionaires within a few months. Sio mambo hii ya mnaita nini wash ya kwenda kudanganyana watu hapa hivi mtu anakula pesa ya wengine. Because I've seen that. Somebody sent me a message the other day anasema, oh, we can make money, you are in the US, we can do transfer. Nikaambia, my friend, I have a direct number to the FBI. I will report you and they will pick you up in your village in a matter of hours. Stop playing those games. I don't play those games. I work with very serious people. I have my security clearance to protect because I have access to government offices, and I talk to, you know, government because I have equipment that I have to maintain. I have to go through background check every year. So there's things I cannot get involved. And if you play these games because I know what you're doing is money laundering, I have to report you. I have a duty to act. So before you go too far, stop it. Kabla uanze kuniambia kitu nataka kufanya, because the moment you tell me, I'm going to report you, and they will come and pick you up. Unfortunately, because you don't know, the government of Kenya has already signed an agreement for money laundering. They will pick you up wherever you are, because you are using people from another country, and that means their laws can apply to you too. So those are the things for me that I am very encouraged that we are getting this forum where we can talk, share ideas, have a common purpose, whereby all of us, Kenya is our country. If we can make Kenya a good example, all these people who are out here, put our ideas together, put our resources together, and support people who can actually make a difference in the country, then, man, we will just sit back and say, you know what, the worries about security, we're talking in ALFRED, and you know, you go to Mombasa Road, people are sleeping for 3 days, a whole week. You are spending 4 hours on the road sleeping. Unafika nyumbani, you just take a shower, eat a breakfast, and you're right back going to work. You have wasted 4 hours. How much money have we lost as a country for people stuck on the road for 5 hours? For what purpose? So these are the things that we actually need to approach and resolve. So, gentlemen, I am very appreciative. It's my first time hosting a show. I think, I don't know kama nimefanya kazi mzuri, people will give their reviews, but I really want to thank Gerald wherever you are. Thank you much for this opportunity. Guys, real quick, quick summaries. Kip, let me start with you. Before Kip, you say, Albert, let me just give you an opportunity. Do you want to say something? Do you have a quiet place now? You can say something. You have been on the program with us from the beginning, but I want to give you an opportunity to say something. All right. So Kip, let's go to you then. Since Albert bado inaonekana ako kwa plantation. All right, amesema nothing from his end, so we are good.
So I think okay. Yeah, I think we really you know, we've talked exhaustively about the issues that we, you know, covered. I think mine is just to urge Kenyan people to really look forward to electing people who deserve to serve them, and people who really know why they want to run for a political office. Kenya's problems are only political. It can be solved within one sitting of a ballot, where we elect the president and coming all the way down, and people will go and sit down and work. I've been privileged enough to go to America and come to Australia. God has been good. I know why elective posts matters. I know why taxes matters. And I hope one day we'll just wake up and do the right thing for our country. Yeah.
Thank you. Bwana Senator, unajua nitaenda hivyo, nimeanza na MP, niwacha niende kwa Senator alafu tuende kwa Mr. President.
Unaona na protocol?
Yes. Umeona hiyo protocol nimeishika kidogo?
Naona uko sawa. Well, what I want to say is that first of all, unajua Moi alikuwa anasema siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. And for a very long time hiyo maisha mbaya imekuwa kuja ikakuwa manifested, especially imekuwa manifested tangu COVID ianze. That's when people knew the role of what politicians play. It is either to break them or to make them. I tell you, I think there is no other time, and I'm not saying for many, but me, I'm speaking for the many people I've been talking about. While the middle class, we used to have a middle class in Kenya that never used to care about politics, never used to care about who is being elected, who is governing you, who is who, they were in a cocoon that they were comfortable. If barabara ni mbaya, they'll go into a showroom and buy a Prado, and then life goes on. They were never affected. But after COVID, there is that soul searching, and you're like, okay, now kumbe maisha jobs inaweza katika nini na ule mheshimiwa the politician you elected matters a lot in policy making, in developing in hospitals, in so many other things, in managing your tax. Look at that now, we are being affected by a debt that is affecting the economy, affecting the mwananchi. All this, we come back to the parliament, to the legislation, to the politicians. They hold Kenya. If we have visionary leaders, then Kenya will be very, very much ahead. And I want to say, we all go abroad to seek opportunities. If these opportunities were in Kenya, sisi wote we would have been thriving in Kenya. But unfortunately, these opportunities were never available. That's why we came, and maybe we're thriving wherever we are. That does not mean we don't have interest in Kenya. We still do have a lot of interest. But we want to come and change Kenya to enable more other people get opportunity. Wasiende tuweza kutafuta visa ya US, visa sijui ya wapi, and Kenya itself has enough to feed us and make us succeed. Your level ground ikikuwa equal for everyone, then what else do we need? Kila mtu akuwa na pesa kwa mfuko. That's all. So I'll say at the end of the day, the buck stops with the people. They have the sovereign power. They have the sovereign power in their hands, either to decide, either to wangle in poverty for the next 5 years, for the next other 5 years, by whoever they choose. That 1 vote, 2 vote, 3 votes matters a lot. We make our choices wise. Look for round hii, unajua atusemi atunaenda na wave. No, there's no wave. Interview that person, mwambie, okay, unataka this seat, what do you want? How can you help the community? You don't have to help an individual, but we are looking at a broader picture. How can you help such and such a county, such and such a community move forward? And that's if they're able to answer according to your satisfaction and you hold them to account, then that is the best way. Usichague mtu kwa sababu anatoka kwa kabila yako, ako na pesa mingi. Those are not factors of leadership at all. Yeah, so I'll say let us make change in 2022 and for a better future in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. President, your turn. Tumetoka kwa MP, tumeenda county, sasa tuko kwako. We umeshikilia country yote, sasa ongea. You're muted.
Unmute, bwana.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me speak. What I can say is one thing. In Kenya, politicians are like ladybirds that they hatch the eggs they have not laid. And how they do that? Because they are so tribalistic, they have pulled us to tribalism. They have pulled us to our tribes, our cocoons, and we have been stuck there since I was writing about, when I was counting elections with my uncle in 1992. Nilikuwa nakaa chini tukihesabu kura. 97 nikihesabu kura. 02 nikaenda kwa campaign trail nikimaliza form 4. So we need to come out of that tribal cocoon so that we can resolve the issues of Kenya. And the other thing is, politicians in Kenya, they speak a lot, but they do very less. So we need to have a value system whereby we begin grassroots democracy and we ask them one thing. You have talked about so many achievements that you have done. What is your contribution to your constituency? What is your contribution to your county? We have to do that. And for those in diaspora, I urge them, I tell them one thing. Let us think local about our country and act global. And Joel, thank you so much for the show. Keep the show burning and we'll be coming with many issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Bwana Biwott. Sasa wewe nilisema wewe ndio MCA. Protocol tumevunja kidogo. Wewe ni mtu ya ground.
Sawa, yeah, wale majamaa wanatuingiza kichwa. Yeah, well, so thank you very much for the show. Acha nishukuru kabisa. It's been really encouraging. It's been opening. And like I said when I started the show, mimi saizi niko diaspora, but nikirudi Kenya, I think I know how to hustle more than ever. So I was just talking to my friend and he was telling me, tukirudishwa Kenya sahi, I think I'll do magic from what is around me. Utafanya vitu different, hata haieleweki, unajua. So it's been really great talking with you guys. So thank you very much. Let's continue praying for our country. Let's continue encouraging those leaders going back to go and bring the change that is needed down there. Because vitu mingi itategemea vile inchi inaendeshwa, unajua. So I think it starts with the individual. The change will also come from the individual. So you as a person, once you take that step, it will be easier to change the people around you. It's easier to change your family, your village, and as it goes on. Otherwise, sina mengi, thank you very much for your time and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Aya, Bwana Alfred, tukimalizia.
Sasa mimi ndio naongea after president bana.
Yes, wewe ni mtu ya ground.
Appointment utapatia watu ya ground. Sisi ndio tuna advise kina president na senator na MC na mheshimiwa wangu hapa Kipchumba. Unajua Kipchumba if elected he will be my MP, eh?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Bwana Joel. You know how things started. You are a gentleman, and of course I owe you some.
We shall meet. Thank you.
So yeah, it's been a great show actually, and of course everyone who have contributed have given us so much valid reasons that we've implemented. Then they are really great. My point just is quick. I'll mention three things quickly. Bwana Joe, unajua Kenya tumeweka vitu mingi sana to revolve around politics. Everything, yes. Ukulima ni politics, hospitali ni politics, kila kitu ni politics. Hata shamba, mtu amesema mtu amegongwa shamba, unaingiza siasa.
Yes.
But one thing that I would want to say is that here in Australia, as we speak, as of today, people who give protocol on matters health are the people wanaitwa health experts, ama wale watu wenye wanaitwa chief medical officer. Yeah. I remember when corona started, even this anaitwaje huyu CS wa Health Kenya Muthai alicelebratiwa mpaka US sababu venye alikuwa anapeana updates na venye alikuwa serious on people and everything on mask and health and precautions. But ilifika mahali the guy became a don't care, no one was even following, the guy fell into politics and people are dying now of COVID. We have to take responsibility in every position that you are. If you are a health expert, if you are a chief medical officer, say Kenya ifungwe na umesema. Kama politician atakuja, huyo mtu ashikwe sababu it is the law imesemwa, precaution ya COVID, hakuna rally inafanyika, hakuna kanisa inafanyika, hakuna hii, ni chief medical officer amesema.
Yeah.
Tukiongea in part sababu ya uongozi ya mtu wa Western Australia, I think sitaki kusema kwa kujisifu, lakini part Western Australia hakuna corona. Sababu jamaa alifunga na akasema hakuna mtu hata Joe akitaka kuja kunisalamia hapa hawezi kuja. Mimi siwezi enda Sydney. Jamaa alisema kama ile vitu yenye tuko naye hapa haitutoshi, kaa kwako. But sasa kila mtu ana roam, we are meeting 100%, we are doing things 100%. We are traveling across the state 100%. But sasa unajua tukisema sijui hapana, alafu kidogo unaona mwanasiasa amekuja rally wanaleta watu 100,000. Yeye sasa ni above the law na wamesema hivyo ama ni namna gani? Vitu yenye faa tufanye ni kama raia tuchukue hatua, tuseme wamesema hapana, mheshimiwa enda kwako kaa. Naona sasa wameanza kusunguka, wameenda makanisani, wamesema nini ikuje ikatae. Mapasta sasa wanawaruhusu wanakuja kufanya siasa kanisani. Tuhubiri neno kanisani, tuachane na siasa. Pili ni kwamba unaona Nandi, mimi naongelea Nandi penye natoka. Mimi sijawahi fanya PhD, lakini naona hakuna mtu wa PhD anafanya research Nandi, na hakuna kiti kutoka Nandi County ile inapeana pesa kwa mtu anataka kufanya research kwa msponsor. Na tuko na governor na tulisema yeye ni kijana atatusaidia, lakini sisi kama vijana tunalia. Bwana governor, amuka bwana, kwa usingizi, saidia vijana. Watu wakuje pia waseme we need a kiti yenye inasaidia watu wenye wanafanya research. Hizi vitu ndogo ndogo bwana ikuwe inafanyika hata huko nani. Tusikuwa tunangoja tu msaada. Kitu ingine ni kwamba bwana kidogo
Ako job.
Aya, umemute.
Kidogo tu nipeane kitu hapa na huja kumalizia. 1 minute.
Aya, sawa. So in the meantime, tukingoja Alfred arudi, keep one of my dream ama desire is to actually get a panel, and I know Gerald is watching somewhere because I saw his comment on our WhatsApp. I think we need an opportunity to really interrogate any presidential candidate currently in the country. Of course, Boita ako hapa, we need to give them a chance where we really ask questions. And for me, your questions as a journalist is question as a prospective employer, because we are giving them a job. So we need to approach those interviews and those question sessions from the perspective of an employer. What are you going to do? What is your philosophy? What are your plans? How do we measure your success? So that when... Yeah.
And they should talk about funding. You know, the problem with politicians, even here, even Kenya, they come and tell you, I'll do this and that and that. Even a member of parliament whose mandate is totally different from this building the road issues.
Yeah.
Senator has nothing to do with giving away bursaries.
Yeah.
But they will come and talk about that as if they are the one who has the money in their pockets and they're dishing it. Even now, people don't know this money coming from the so-called bursaries.
Yeah.
Well, politicians have made it look like it's their money. It is our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you've seen, you deposit money in their account in Kenyan bank. As you go to withdraw, they take 20%. 20%. And you've paid tax already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's too much. So I think people should know that what they're getting from the politicians is not their money. They are just overseeing it, and hopefully they're doing the right thing. So really, I think for me, Kenyans are to blame for anything that's happening in Kenya. We cannot be running around and blaming politicians, yet they are the one who chose these politicians.
Aya, Bwana Alfred naona amerudi. Alfred, back to you.
Ako kwa freeway.
Nasikia honi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, unajua kibarua muhimu, lazima ufanya kazi ukikuwa hapa ukichangia pia. Yeah, like I said in
Yeah.
Tupeane pia ile vitu inahitajika, tupeane conducive environment for people who want to do research. We have a lot of things that we can research on. Kuna hizi ile madawa za kienyeji za kitambo, maybe hata kuna mtu angekuwa amesha identify ile kitu tungekuwa tumetumia kutibu saa hizi maneno ya corona kule nyumbani. Kuna maneno ya ukulima, kuna machani chai ile inapandwa, kuna purple tea, but tunategemea research from other counties ndio tukuje tuseme inaweza pandwa Nandi. Tuko na mahindi yenye kitambo tulikuwa tunapandanga ingine mpaka inaitwa 6 choge, ile unatoa tu kwa shamba unapanda. Kuna research wangekuwa wamefanya, wanajua Nandi, Kaptuma wanapanda nini, Mosoriot wanapanda nini, and all this. Kama kungekuwa na resources, tungekuwa tumefanya kazi mingi sana. Hata Nandi hakuna mwanafunzi angekuwa anatakikana kukuwa anaomba hizi vitu za bursary. Unaona? Kama watu wangekuwa wanafanya research na kufanya bidii na uongozi bora. Mwisho kabisa, wale watu ya diaspora inafaa tukuwe na ile kitu inaitwa county number 48. Na ikuwe by law that wale watu wako diaspora wakuwe na mtu mmoja wa kusimamia hawa, hata kama kuna wale majamaa wa kule Nairobi wako kwa Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but tukuwe na mtu mmoja mwenye anasimamia diaspora. Hata kama mtu atatoka nyumbani aenda akae Nairobi kwa ofisi, ikuwe county number 48. Why should I say so? Because ile pesa saa hizi inatumika Kenya ni ya watu wanatoka diaspora. Ile inaitwa remittance.
Yes.
Ya watu kutoka diaspora. Na hiyo mingi saa hizi inapatikana Kenya. Hata kabla ya corona, pesa ile ilikuwa inatumika pale Kenya ilikuwa ni pesa kutoka number 2 after agriculture and tourism, ilikuwa hii remittance ya Wakenya wenye wako kule nje. Lakini hatuna representation, hatuna proper way of reaching out to these people. Saa hii ukisema nataka kuinvest kule nyumbani Mosoriot, unagongwa. Kwanza unatandikwa, unanunua shamba, unafika unapewa .1 na ulituma pesa ya eka moja. Yeah. The reason why we need our own governor, our county number 48 are on such reasons. Number 2, ili tuweze na sisi tuweze kuconnect na governors wengine. Governors wakikuwa na mkutano, sisi pia tunachukua representation na maoni ya watu kutoka diaspora. Na tutakuwa pia na sisi watu wa diaspora na ule inaitwa faith when we are investing. Tutakuwa tuna reach out to this office, tunajua hii ni ofisi yetu, tunasema saidia sisi tafutia mimi shamba hapo Syokimau Nairobi. Saidia mimi kutafutia mimi ka property mahali fulani. Sababu hiyo ni ofisi yako ile unatarajia. Sababu Nandi walisema tuko na ile kitu inaitwa diaspora engagement office yenye ilikuwa kwa portfolio ya mtu, haijawahi fanyika. Hatujawahi ona hiyo mtu kama iko kwa ofisi, hatujawahi ona ile mtu amefanya nini for the last 4 years kwa hiyo ofisi kama hako. Sasa ni time na wakati wetu sasa kukuwa na nafasi katika national government, tupatiwe nafasi hata sisi kama tutavote online, tuvote kwa governor yetu. Kama Alfred atasimama hapa, mwingine asimame US, itategemea sasa utaomba nani. Joe uombe wako huko, uombe kidogo Australia, kuja huko niombe basi. Tujakuwe mtu mmoja arudi kule nyumbani, ama tuseme ofisi yetu iko London ama wapi. Tukuwe na nafasi pia kwa table ile tutakuwa tunaweza kusema. Unajua wanasemanga be on the table, ndio wakidecide unaleta decision yako, ule wanandi analeta wake wawatingishu, alafu unasema bas sisi watu ya diaspora tuko na 50 billion, tungependa kuinvest kwa hospitali mahali fulani, na hiyo pesa haiwezi tushinda kuchanga. So hiyo tu ni maoni yangu. Asanteni sana kwa wale watu wametufuata. Tutazidi kuengage, tutazidi pia kusema na kueleza watu, na waheshimiwa wasiende. Hii jamaa lazima aende nyumbani na 1500.
So Bwana Kigen ameomba to give a parting shot. So Bwana Kigen, I'll give you an opportunity 1 minute to say something, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Okay, asante sana. Nimekuwa encouraged sana, and kwa inasemekana ukiwa kwa meza na kings, learn to eat like kings. So nimekuwa na nyinyi, nimetulia, sija because of the knowledge I have, that when you are with people who are learned like you have to sit like you are learned, though you are not such. So in future I'll share my story just to encourage someone. The way Alfred said, you may not be having money to support someone, but you have something to say to encourage someone. You see, so I'll share my story just to inspire someone in future, not now. Mo if sigis ko le magichere muren. Aga no ngalal kabisa agero ke Facebook. Mi kanwasha. Unajua kitambo kuna mzee alikuwa ananiambia kuna wakati mwanaume anaongeleshwa mpaka anaamka tu unaona, hiyo maneno imemuingia. So nikasema acha niingie hii Zoom tupatane na nyinyi kabisa, juu ilikuwa inaniingia, lakini nashukuru sana.
Thank you Bwana Kigen. So kuna swali nimeulizwa hapa, upeane your number, if you can't give it unaweza tumia Gerald Bitok and then we can get it from there and we'll see how we can help you out in whatever way we can. So
okay.
Type kwa hiyo nini?
Okay,
ama unaweza type hapa kwa comment. Yeah, unaweza type hapa kwa comment saizi, alafu I'll copy it and put it in our group.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nyinyi mtanitafutia hiyo number and then Joel, we can let us tuendelee kuweka hii maneno out there and the discussion continues. You know, this is good when we enlighten more than the enlightenment is through such discussion. Open-mindedness inakuja in such forums. Yeah. Mimi I don't mind joining, although Alfred aliniambia abrupt, ningekuwa nimejipanga. Ningekuwa driving up and down kama leo.
Sawa, that's gentlemen, I hope next time nitasema ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes najaribu nakumbuka we are all gentlemen here. So first of all, thank you so much for availing your time to come to the show, to talk to Kenyans and give encouragement and share ideas, share your knowledge on your experiences of what you have. I really want also to appreciate two young men at the studio technical crew. I appreciate your work very much. I will tell you one thing. The reason I am doing that, I am a media person. I work on the background, and I can tell you there are many times people overlook. The only time mtu anajua mtu wa technical wako ni zile mambo inaenda mbaya. So let me take that opportunity to really thank you for what you're doing and holding the show, even though Gerald is not at the studio, but you're doing a good job. So nikipata Gerald nitamwambia, na msimwambie nimesema hii, aongeze kamshahara kidogo. So nitamwambia aongeze kamshahara kidogo, alafu mnafanya kazi mzuri. Thank you so much guys. I think Felix, we normally have our Diaspora edition on Thursdays, Kenyan time. I think it's Thursday your time also. Saizi ni Thursday saa 7 inaelekea saa 8 US time. To me, my hope is maybe next week we get a chance, we continue with the discussion, but also focus on the local. One of my biggest worry, and I want just to wrap it up with that, is how is 2022 going to look like when it comes to election time? Are we going to see a peaceful process? Are we going to see chaos? How is it going to look like? And what influence as diaspora people can we have to ensure that people actually have a peaceful transition and a peaceful election period? Mambo ya kupigana iishe. Wewe ukisimama na siasa yako useme mambo yako yule unasema, watu wakusikize. At the end of the day, we go and decide what you want to do and vote. Let people speak and let us make our own decision based on what person has said, and we judge people on their character and the ideas they bring, not on the party or the so-called wave. Mambo ya wave vile Kipa amesema tuwache tuangalie watu na siasa yao na mambo yao yenye wanaleta on the table for the development. I want to really thank you, Gerald, for this opportunity. We have had a great discussion. I'm looking forward again next week to continue the discussion and expand the discussion. Hopefully we have more people to join us. As Gerald says, goodbye, and the tackle ends now. Thank you so much.